Okay.
Hello! Are you ready?
It's like a dramatic entrance like that.
Dramatic.
Awkward silence.
Hi guys!
Hi.
Do you guys know what you're doing today?
Yeah, I guess. Sounds like we're gonna need a therapy session after this.
This is a therapy session.
This is a therapy session. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I win! I'm off to a good start. Okay, go for it. Okay, I'm just gonna close my eyes.
Okay.
What's that?
Still remember their words till today.
Oh! I have one!
It's like based on appearance. And you know when you're 13 and 14?
Yes.
Oh my god, like you're changing so much and like your appearance really matters to you, I guess. We were at my friend's house. Her friend's dad was there, so like it was a family kind of thing. This man, he looks at like my sisters, then he looks at me, and he looks at my mom because my mom is half white, half Chinese. And he goes, oh, you really don't look like your mom. Like your sisters are really pretty and they look just like your mom and you look like your dad. But he basically was like, oh, you're like not attractive or like you don't look as white.
Father said that?
Yeah. I was like, oh, thanks. Don't know what you're trying to imply. And like, he didn't stop after that. A few hours would go by and then he'd be like, yeah, you see like your eyes are not as sunken in as like your sisters. Like, why does it matter? And so, you know, I still know that person till today. I've always wanted to be like, you know what? Uncle?
Yeah.
Those words really f***ed me up. So, yeah, what an asshole. What an asshole. Like seriously, like why would you say that to a child?
Speaking about appearance too, there's another one. And this guy from primary school, and then we didn't like keep in contact whatever because we weren't close. It was just like a primary school friend, you know, acquaintance. And then right, I think it was when I was 18. So it was like uni college days, right? And this guy messaged me out of the blue and he said, wow, your boobs them small, man.
Dude, I knew you were gonna say that.
I was like, what the are you? And why are you like randomly messaging me about
my
that?
boobs.
Yeah.
We're small booby girls.
Yeah, but why do you have to say that? It's like as if people don't already
It's like
know.
now you make me feel even more insecure about them. Yeah.
Have had people gossip about me.
People always gossip about me.
Yeah, you're on a whole nother level.
I honestly, like, I'm not a bad person. I don't know why are people gossiping about me. I don't know, maybe they're just jealous. I have people that just randomly just talk shit about me out of nowhere. And like in high school, like these seniors of mine, I don't know lah, they think like I'm a slut or something to go and talk to like the senior guys. Yeah, then they'll be like, oh my god, so fachao.
After high school, obviously, I wanted to pursue more of singing and like I was really into that one very young hip scene. In that scene alone, there were many abuses and people taking advantage of young girls. I'm one who can't stand any abuse from men or like sexual assault. And I'm also quite loud myself and I would call out on these people. And when I did, I think 30% would believe me. When I've heard firsthand what all these girls are saying towards me and they're all like, this happened, there was witnesses, there was, you know, all of this shit, right? Tapi macam at the end of the day when I'm like, hey guys, jangan pergi to this gig, there's a bunch of abusers there, man. And you know, everyone was like trying to defend them like, oh, but they're cool, but they're fun, you know. I'm like, so obviously me saying that pissed some people off just because I was trying to defend these girls. They would try to threaten me with like pictures of me and they would like say that I'm a slut or whatever, or like just basically trying to shame me into like silence. And also like some of these girls, they're not ready yet. Most of them are like scared to even say anything because we were at that age just trying to discover ourselves, kan. So the gossip and stuff like that really impacted me in a way where I felt like I didn't belong in that scene anymore. And I felt like, fuck, aku macam kena buang macam tu je. Even though I was like close to them, whatever semua kan.
Yeah.
But they all like just macam shut me out. So I'm like, fine, whatever. And also like, I had a passion of singing. I just stopped doing all of that because I just didn't want to be in the scene anymore. I'm like, this though, if you guys want to surround yourself with this type of people, then this is not for me, this is not it. Like, I'm not gonna stay here and pretend like nothing is happening, you know. So I think until now they still gossip about me, but it's like, it's so frustrating because I've heard firsthand from these girls and it's like, you know.
I have been harassed / assaulted.
Oh, alright. Me too.
What girl do you know who hasn't been harassed?
Tak ada, tak kenal.
which story should I bring up?
Exactly. It's like, which one? Which time, you know?
And I just got catcalled like downstairs.
Ew.
Yeah, disgusting.
So my story is, I think you noticed, like I drive everywhere because literally every single medium of public transport in this country I have been harassed and assaulted in. Every single one.
I was on the tram in Melbourne. It gets really crowded like during, you know, like peak work hours. So I'm standing there holding the railing.
There was this guy sitting in front of me, and then my friends had gotten off like the previous stop, so I turned around and I waved bye to them. As soon as the door shut, the guy pulled my waist down and strapped me down to sit onto his lap.
So I was walking through the crowd and then I saw this guy looking at me from quite a distance. As soon as he passed me, he put out his hand. Literally 3 fingers like that.
This guy like pushes up on me, and like it wasn't just like, you know, it was like, yeah, and he kept doing it. And I was like, is this really happening right now?
At that moment, right, I couldn't really do anything. As soon as I reached where I was walking to, I cried. But I couldn't point out the guy. His face was like a blur to me.
I was just frozen, and then thankfully like this woman across from me, she like could tell what was going on. She looked at me, I looked at her, and I was like, and then
She like saved you?
yeah, she like walked over and she was like, hey, the next stop is ours, right? And I was like, yeah. She like yanked me up, and then the guy was like, where are you going? This is my girlfriend. And I was like, I'm not your fucking girlfriend.
So the only thing like I knew how to do was just to like
Elbow him?
Yeah. I looked around like to see if anybody even like noticed, because like obviously you can tell this man's like literally gyrating on me, and like I guess nobody else cared, but I was just like, okay.
Well, for myself, it still lingers to this very day. Yes, I was harassed. So number one, it was a maid that constantly just like to touch me in places that they shouldn't be touching. And I had to deal with it for the longest time because I was just really young. And number two was in school. I was from an all-boys school, so we always have this teacher who just roams around and will just grab you by the balls and whatnot.
I think a lot of people always make this first impression or judgment that I'm gay. It doesn't really offend me or anything like that. But sometimes because of that assumption, and because I'm naturally a very gentle person and a very soft person, sometimes people try certain advancement or anything that I'm uncomfortable of. The really bad one happened actually in my previous company also, where I came in as a fresh grad and he was very senior. He was like one of the very important people like that, and he would be very nice with me first, and then eventually he would like, you know, make inappropriate touching in the way he asked me to like kiss him on the cheek.
It might be a funny thing to a certain extent.
Still inappropriate.
Thinking back about it, right, I realized that part of my trauma, it's where I really don't like people to touch me. For the life of others, I guess, they cannot understand why I do not like massages. I still don't know if that's really the core issue or whatnot, but sometimes when I just try to understand where is all this behavior coming from, maybe all of this did play a part of it.
Honestly, I feel like I don't wear shorts as much anymore.
See, it affected you.
I still do wear short things, but like short shorts that kind of show the bottom of my butt.
Yeah.
I kind of not want to do that like anymore. But I don't know if that's because of that.
I was quite young when this happened. Now that I look back on it, it turned out to be a very grooming situation. The person was way older, was a leader and someone who a lot of people trusted. They took advantage of me and I was quite young, so I was quite dumb lah.
Basically, I met new friends. One of the guy friends asked me like, hey, Friday night, you want to do anything? Let's go out. So basically went out, had a good time, you know, drinking. And he was like a bit touchy, but I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it, right?
Yeah.
And then it just kept going lower and lower and lower and lower. And then I was in shock because I was processing. I'm like, shit, is this really happening? And then finally when I realized it was, I felt like something, but it wasn't a okay? I just felt a pressure in a place that you shouldn't be feeling pressure. And then immediately he pressed the right button cause I was like, eject! Immediately I took my phone, I called an Uber.
On one hand, this person comes to you and like basically says that, oh, you know, hey, I'm going to take care of you, don't worry over here and stuff like that. And then, you know, behind closed doors and stuff, like they do all this kind of funny stuff. And you're just in a very vulnerable moment that you just don't know what to do. Like,
I just remember for 2 years straight, I was just crying every single day with the fact that that incident had happened and I didn't know how to get through it. I didn't have anyone to talk to. It made me scared of men in general. My dad actually sat me down and he said, Tammy, not all men are like this. And I think that one line has been like the only thing keeping me going, because when you go through that experience as a young person, you feel like, oh my God, I'm going to stay away from the whole world, so scared to open up to people. And when you hear that from your dad, you feel like, okay, you need that reminder. Humans are humans and not everyone's going to be the same. I was very embarrassed. I was very ashamed. Like that feeling, if you've been harassed, like you've just poured that guilt on yourself, you know? You just feel like, oh my God, I put myself there. But I really felt that shame and guilt for the longest time. I didn't tell anyone. Like usually, like if anything at all, I'll tell like my best friend. But that was something that I couldn't even admit. Yeah.
And I don't know, you know, I used to get very frustrated and I used to blame myself because, like, you know, when you're so young, it's just like you're not familiar with the word no and stuff, you know.
Which is why I really respect you for saying it. There's that form of ego and masculinity thing that's inside of us that if something does happen, we wouldn't talk about it because oh, a man is not supposed to go through this. And like, if you do, it's embarrassing. Like, what the hell?
I hate that. Macam, oh, the usual assaults, you know, like macam people touching you and stuff like that, which is obviously not okay and it shouldn't be the norm. Benar.
Hey guys, so how's that whole experience for both of you?
This is okay.
Yeah, this is fine.
Therapy sesh.
Yeah, therapy sesh.
No, we're not here.
I think we are taking the right step, like moving forward. Everyone is sort of changing that whole narrative of like abuse or like harassment or assault and stuff. Like people are stepping up and talking about it. No one's keeping quiet about it anymore, which is great. Like for real, step out. And I guess the best we can do for is just hope that, you know, this reduces in the future and educates the younger generation that, hey, doing that is not right, right? Consent is important. Remember that.